Hey, my dear friends, welcome to Impressive Learning English. Tell me honestly, how many times have you lost control of your emotions? One small word, one little problem, and suddenly you feel angry, sad, or broken inside. Your heart becomes heavy, and your day is ruined. Isn't that true? But what if I tell you, you can control your emotions instead of emotions controlling you? Imagine a life where anger can't break you, fear can't stop you, and sadness can't hold you back. That life is possible, and today I'm going to show you 10 powerful steps to make it real. So stay with me, because this lesson is not just about emotions. It's about your freedom, your peace, and your future. Welcome, my friend, to Impressive Learning English. Step 1. Pause before you react. The very first step to controlling your emotions is learning to pause before you react. Most people lose control not because of the situation itself, but because they react too fast without thinking. Imagine this. You're in traffic, someone cuts you off, and immediately your blood starts boiling. You yell, you curse, your hands shake on the steering wheel. But after 10 minutes, you realize, what did that anger give you? Nothing but stress, a bad mood, and maybe even regret. That's why the pause is powerful. When something triggers you, your first job is not to fight back, not to scream, not to cry. Your first job is to breathe and take a pause. This tiny pause is like a shield. It protects you from saying words you don't mean, from making choices you'll regret, and from letting emotions control your day. Let me give you a simple example. Think about professional athletes. When they play a high-pressure game, they don't let anger or fear take over. A basketball player who misses a shot doesn't throw the ball away in frustration. He pauses, resets, and focuses on the next move. That's what winners do. And in life, you need the same skill. If you pause, you stay in control. If you don't, emotions will drag you like a storm. Now, how do you practice this? Start small. The next time someone says something that hurts you, don't reply right away. Count to 5 in your head. Breathe deeply. Let the first wave of emotion pass, and then speak. You'll notice your words become calmer, your mind clearer, and your energy stronger. The same applies to sadness. If you feel like crying instantly, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this really worth my tears? Will I still feel the same tomorrow? That little pause will help you see the bigger picture. Here's another trick. Use water as your reset button. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, drink a glass of water slowly. The act itself forces you to pause. It gives your brain time to cool down, and often, the intensity of your feelings will drop. Remember this truth. Emotions are like waves. They rise high, but if you wait a little, they always fall. You don't need to jump into every wave. You just need to let some of them pass. That's what the pause gives you. The power to wait until the storm is gone. So from today, make it your habit. Before you react, pause. Before you fight, pause. Before you make a big decision in anger, pause. Because in that short pause, you will find your freedom, your peace, and your strength. Step 2. Name your emotion. The second step to controlling your emotions is learning to name what you feel. Many times we get lost because we don't even know what's happening inside us. We just say, I'm upset, or I'm not okay, but that's too general. The truth is, emotions are specific. Are you angry, or are you disappointed? Are you nervous, or are you just tired? Naming your feeling gives you clarity, and clarity is power. Think about it this way. Imagine you go to a doctor and say, I'm sick. The doctor can't help you unless you explain where it hurts. The same rule applies to your mind. If you don't identify the emotion, you can't heal it. When you say, I feel frustrated because my friend ignored me, you're already halfway to controlling it. Because now, you know what you're facing. Here's a simple exercise. When you feel emotional, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Is this feeling true or just temporary? Write down the answers in a journal. Maybe you'll realize you weren't truly angry. You were just hungry or stressed. Once you name it, the emotion loses some of its power. Science also supports this. Psychologists call it labeling emotions. Research shows that when people simply say, I feel anxious, the brain activity in the fear center drops. That means you literally calm down by putting your feelings into words. It's like shining a flashlight into a dark room. The fear looks smaller once you see it clearly. Let's take an everyday example. Suppose you fail an exam or miss a work deadline. Instead of shouting, my life is ruined, stop and say, I feel disappointed because I expected better. Just naming disappointment instead of ruin changes your perspective. It reminds you that the emotion is temporary, not your whole identity. Another tip is to expand your emotional vocabulary. Don't just use sad or angry. Learn words like frustrated, lonely, overwhelmed, jealous, or tired. The more precise you are, the easier it becomes to handle it. Children often cry without knowing why. Adults shouldn't do the same. Adults need to identify the emotion, face it, and then control it. Naming your emotions is not weakness. It's strength. It doesn't mean you're stuck in the feeling. It means you're smart enough to recognize it. Because you can't fix what you don't understand. So from today, when emotions hit you, don't just drown in them. Name them. Say it out loud or write it down. I feel angry. I feel scared. I feel lonely. The moment you do this, you'll notice the storm inside you start to calm. Naming your emotions is the bridge between confusion and control. And once you cross that bridge, you'll move one step closer to peace. Step 3. Shift your focus. The third step to controlling your emotions is learning how to shift your focus. What you focus on grows stronger. If you keep thinking about what hurt you, your pain becomes bigger. If you keep replaying an insult in your head, your anger becomes hotter. But if you change your focus, your feelings also change. Your mind is like a camera. Whatever you point it at, that's what fills the frame. If you keep pointing it at problems, you'll feel heavy. If you point it toward solutions or positive things, you'll feel lighter and stronger. Imagine this. You spill coffee on your shirt before an important meeting. You have 2 choices. You can keep staring at the stain, thinking, why me? My day is ruined. Or you can shift your focus and think, okay, this is small. I can handle it. My presentation is what really matters. By shifting your attention, you save yourself from unnecessary stress. The situation doesn't change, but your perspective does. And that changes everything. A great example comes from sports again. When a quarterback in football throws an interception, he can't sit there thinking about his mistake. If he does, his game falls apart. Instead, he has to quickly shift his focus to the next play. Life is the same. You can't replay the bad moment again and again. You must choose where to look next. So how can you practice this skill? Start with gratitude. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, write down 3 things you're thankful for. It could be as simple as, I have food today. I have a roof over my head. I have someone who cares about me. Gratitude pulls your focus away from pain and toward blessings, and blessings calm the heart. Another way is to distract your mind with positive action. Go for a short walk, listen to calming music, or talk to a supportive friend. These actions don't erase the problem, but they shift your attention long enough for the emotion to cool down. Sometimes just 5 minutes of shifting focus can prevent hours of anger or sadness. Remember, emotions are like fire. If you keep feeding them with negative focus, the fire grows. But if you cut off the fuel by shifting your attention, the fire slowly dies out. That's how you stay in control. So the next time something makes you upset, ask yourself, what am I focusing on right now? Is this helping me or hurting me? Then consciously choose a new focus. Don't look at the wound. Look at the healing. Don't look at the problem. Look at the solution. Don't look at the past. Look at the future. Shifting your focus is not ignoring reality. It's choosing a better reality to give your energy to. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And when you control your focus, you control your emotions. Step 4. Breathe and release. Step 4 in controlling your emotions is simple, yet incredibly powerful. Breathe and release. Most people underestimate the power of breathing. When anger, fear, or sadness hits, our body tenses, our heart races, and our mind becomes chaotic. But breathing is a tool you always have. Free, immediate, and effective. The moment you focus on your breath, you bring your mind and body back under control. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you feel extremely anxious, a few deep breaths can calm you down? That's because emotions live not only in your mind, but also in your body. Anger tightens your chest, fear makes your stomach twist, and sadness makes your shoulders slump. Controlled breathing sends a signal to your brain. It's okay. Calm down. You are safe. The body relaxes, and suddenly, the emotion loses part of its grip. Here's a simple exercise to practice. When you feel overwhelmed, inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold it for 4 counts. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 counts. Repeat this 3 to 5 times. As you do, imagine the negative emotion leaving your body with each exhale. Picture it as smoke or water flowing out of you. This visualization strengthens the effect of the breath, giving you both physical and mental release. Another tip is to combine breathing with movement. Stretch your arms above your head, roll your shoulders, or gently shake your hands. This physical action, combined with deep breathing, helps release built-up tension. Anger often gets stuck in the body. Letting it out through breath and movement prevents it from turning into long-term stress or regret. Breathing also helps you pause before reacting. Remember step 1? The pause is even more effective when accompanied by deep breath. The next time someone triggers you, inhale, exhale, and then respond thoughtfully. This not only protects your relationships, but also builds your emotional strength over time. Here's a real-life example. Imagine a parent losing patience with their child who is throwing a tantrum. Instead of shouting, they take a moment to breathe deeply, visualize calmness, and then speak. The situation becomes easier to manage, and both the parent and child benefit. Breathing is the bridge between chaos and control. Finally, remember that consistency is key. Make deep breathing a habit even when you are calm. Start your day with 5 minutes of mindful breathing. Throughout the day, take mini breaks to focus on your breath. The more you practice, the faster your body and mind will respond during emotional moments. In short, breathing and releasing is your personal reset button. It clears your mind, relaxes your body, and empowers you to choose your response rather than letting emotions control you. Every time you breathe with awareness, you take one step closer to mastering your emotions and living a calmer, more focused life. Step 5. Change your self-talk. Step 5. In controlling your emotions is all about what you say to yourself. The stories we tell ourselves have enormous power. When something goes wrong, many people automatically think negative thoughts. I can't handle this. This always happens to me. Or, I'm a failure. These thoughts feed emotions like anger, fear, or sadness, making the situation feel worse than it really is. If you want to control your emotions, the first step is to control your inner dialogue. Think about your mind as a garden. Your thoughts are seeds. If you plant seeds of worry, doubt, or anger, those emotions will grow strong. But if you plant seeds of hope, strength, and patience, those positive emotions will grow and eventually replace the negative ones. Self-talk works exactly like that. The more you speak positively to yourself, the stronger your emotional control becomes. Here's how to start. When you notice a negative thought, pause and reframe it. For example, instead of thinking, I can't deal with this stress, try saying, I can face this challenge step by step. Instead of thinking, I always mess up, say, I am learning and I can improve. Small changes in language create big changes in emotion. Another technique is to use empowering words in advance. When you know a stressful situation is coming, tell yourself, I will remain calm. I will choose my response. I will not let anger control me. Saying it before the event prepares your mind, like armor protecting you from emotional storms. This is especially helpful in situations like public speaking, exams, or difficult conversations at work. Remember, self-talk is more than just words. It's belief. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I am strong, I am patient, I am in control, your mind starts to believe it. And when your mind believes it, your emotions naturally follow. You'll notice that even when difficult situations arise, you respond with confidence instead of frustration. Here's a real-life example. Imagine you're driving and someone cuts you off. Instead of yelling or getting angry, your self-talk says, it's okay. This is not worth my energy. I choose peace. That inner statement changes your reaction immediately. Your heart rate slows, your body relaxes, and your mind stays clear. To practice daily, spend a few minutes each morning speaking positive affirmations. You can write them down, say them out loud, or silently repeat them in your mind. Over time, your self-talk will become automatic, and you'll naturally respond to life with calmness, clarity, and control. Changing your self-talk is not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing thoughts that serve you rather than hurt you. Every time you do this, you strengthen your emotional muscles and move closer to mastering your emotions completely. Step 6. Practice gratitude. Step 6 in controlling your emotions is learning to practice gratitude. It might sound simple, even too simple, but gratitude is one of the most powerful tools to calm your mind and shift your emotional state. When you focus on what you are thankful for, anger, fear, and sadness lose their intensity. Your brain starts to see the positives instead of dwelling on what went wrong. Imagine waking up and thinking about all the problems you have. Your mind immediately feels heavy, stressed, and tense. Now imagine starting your day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for: a supportive friend, a warm meal, or even a moment of peace in your morning. Suddenly, your mind feels lighter, your mood improves, and you're more prepared to face challenges. That's the power of gratitude. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It means acknowledging what is good while facing what is hard. For example, if someone criticizes you, instead of reacting with anger, think, "I'm grateful for the chance to learn and grow." If you feel disappointed, say, "I'm grateful that I still have the opportunity to try again." This simple shift changes the emotion from negative to manageable. Here's a practical exercise. Each night before bed, write down 3 things that happened during the day that made you feel grateful. They don't need to be big. Maybe a smile from a stranger, a text from a loved one, or finishing a task you had been avoiding. Writing them down trains your brain to notice the good in your life, and over time, this practice reduces negative emotional reactions. Another way to practice gratitude is through reflection. During stressful moments, pause and mentally list things that are working in your life. It could be health, family, friends, or even personal strengths. This mental check immediately reduces tension. Instead of being consumed by anger or frustration, your mind finds balance and perspective. Gratitude also strengthens emotional resilience. When life is challenging, people who focus on what they are thankful for bounce back faster. They don't get stuck in negative cycles because they have a mental habit of seeing the positives. This habit builds emotional control naturally, without forcing yourself to be calm. Finally, remember that gratitude is a choice. It's not always easy, especially in difficult times. But even a single grateful thought can shift your emotional state. Make it a daily habit. Start small, and watch how it transforms your ability to control anger, stress, and sadness. The more you practice, the more gratitude becomes automatic, and with it, your emotions become easier to manage. Gratitude turns chaos into calm. It turns frustration into focus. And it's a simple daily tool that strengthens your emotional control in ways nothing else can. Step 7. Accept what you can't change. Step 7. In controlling your emotions is one of the most important. Accept what you can't change. So often we waste energy being frustrated, angry, or sad about situations beyond our control. Traffic jams, other people's opinions, mistakes from the past. These things can trigger strong emotions, but resisting them only creates more suffering. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing peace over unnecessary struggle. Think about it like this. Imagine trying to push a river uphill. No matter how hard you try, the water keeps flowing its own way. That's life. Certain things will happen, and you cannot change them. Fighting against reality is exhausting and pointless. But when you accept what is happening, you redirect your energy towards solutions, growth, and calmness. Here's a practical example. Someone says something rude to you at work. You can't control their words, and getting angry will only stress you out. Instead, accept that the comment happened, understand it says more about them than you, and focus on your response. This simple mental shift prevents anger from taking over. Your emotions become manageable and you stay in control. Acceptance also applies to personal mistakes. Maybe you missed an opportunity, said something wrong, or failed at a goal. Instead of beating yourself up, accept that the past cannot be changed. Learn from it, take responsibility, and move forward. When you accept what happened, regret loses its power, and you gain clarity to act wisely in the present. A great technique is to repeat an affirmation during stressful moments. I accept what I cannot change, and I focus on what I can. Saying this out loud or silently reinforces the habit of acceptance. It helps calm the mind, reduce tension, and stop negative emotions from spiraling out of control. Acceptance also teaches patience. Life doesn't always go as planned, and trying to control every detail leads to disappointment. By accepting reality, you allow yourself to stay centered and handle challenges calmly. You can still work toward change, but you no longer fight battles that cannot be won. 23rd of September, 2215. Remember, acceptance is a choice, not a feeling. You might not feel okay at first, and that's natural, but choosing to accept gives you control over your reactions. It turns emotional chaos into calm and stress into clarity. The more you practice, the stronger your emotional resilience becomes. So, start noticing what you can't change and consciously accept it. Your mind will feel lighter, your heart will feel freer, and you'll realize that the power to control your emotions comes not from changing the world, but from changing how you respond to it. Step 8. Focus on solutions, not problems. Step 8. In controlling your emotions is about shifting from problems to solutions. One of the main reasons people get overwhelmed is because they focus too much on what went wrong, rather than what they can do next. When you dwell on problems, anger, fear, and frustration grow stronger. But when you focus on solutions, your mind becomes active, creative, and calm. This simple shift transforms your emotions instantly. Imagine this. You're facing a tight deadline at work. Your first instinct might be to panic or complain. This is impossible. I can't do it. That thought feeds stress and anxiety. But if you shift your focus to solutions, breaking tasks into small steps, asking for help, or prioritizing what's most important, you regain control. You feel empowered instead of helpless. Focusing on solutions doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means acknowledging the issue without letting it dominate your mind. Problems exist, but you have choices in how to respond. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation? Even small actions like sending an email, organizing tasks, or taking a short break shift your mindset from worry to action. A real-life example. Suppose your friend cancels plans at the last minute. You could get upset and waste energy feeling rejected. Or you could focus on solutions, use the time to do something productive, relax, or call another friend. By focusing on what you can do, you prevent negative emotions from taking over. Another technique is to write down your problems on paper, then next to each one, list at least one possible solution. Even if the solution is small, it creates a sense of control. The act of problem-solving activates your rational brain, which naturally reduces emotional intensity. Remember, emotions grow when problems feel bigger than our ability to handle them. Shifting to solutions reminds your mind that you are capable. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are an active participant who can take steps, no matter how small, toward improvement. Finally, focus on progress, not perfection. Solutions don't need to be perfect. They just need to move you forward. Each step you take, each problem you handle constructively, strengthens your ability to manage emotions. Over time, solution-focused thinking becomes a habit, and emotional control becomes natural. By choosing solutions over problems, you take power back from your emotions. You become the leader of your mind, not a prisoner of your feelings. Step 9. Surround yourself with positivity. Step 9. In controlling your emotions is about choosing your environment carefully. The people, media, and surroundings you expose yourself to have a huge impact on your emotional state. Negativity breeds negativity. Constant complaints, gossip, or pessimistic news can make your mind anxious, angry, or sad without you even realizing it. On the other hand, positivity lifts your spirit, strengthens emotional control, and reminds you of what really matters. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how being around a calm, happy friend makes your own mood better? Or how listening to inspiring music or motivational talks can instantly make you feel stronger? That's because emotions are contagious. If you surround yourself with stress, fear, or anger, your own emotions will mirror them. But if you choose uplifting people, environments, and content, your emotions naturally align with positivity. Start by evaluating your daily exposure. Who do you talk to most? What social media accounts do you follow? What kind of news do you consume? If negativity dominates, it's time to make changes. This doesn't mean avoiding reality. It means protecting your emotional energy so you can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Here's a practical tip. Create a positivity routine. Start your day with something inspiring, a short motivational video, an uplifting podcast, or journaling about things you're grateful for. Surround yourself with supportive friends who encourage rather than criticize. Even small changes like playing music that energizes you or spending a few minutes in nature can shift your emotional state dramatically. Another example. Imagine coming home after a stressful day at work. You could turn on the news and scroll through social media, letting negativity pile on top of your stress. Or you could spend time reading an inspiring book, listening to calming music, or connecting with someone who makes you feel safe. Choosing positivity is a conscious decision, but it pays huge emotional dividends. Positivity also strengthens your resilience. Life is full of challenges, and negative environments make problems feel bigger. But when you consistently surround yourself with positivity, you build a buffer against stress. Your mind becomes calmer, your focus sharper, and your emotional reactions smaller. Finally, remember this. You can't always control external events, but you can control what you let into your mind. Protect your emotional energy like a treasure. When you do, you won't just survive difficult situations, you'll navigate them with confidence and calm. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean ignoring problems or avoiding tough conversations. It means consciously choosing the influences that support your emotional growth. Step 9 is about creating a mental and emotional environment where control, peace, and happiness can thrive. Step 10. The final step in controlling your emotions is to practice regular reflection. Reflection is the key to understanding yourself, your triggers, and your emotional patterns. Without it, controlling emotions becomes a guessing game. By taking time to look back at your day or week, you can identify what situations caused strong reactions, what strategies worked, and where you can improve. Think about it. Life moves fast, and most people react automatically without thinking. Anger flares, sadness overwhelms, or fear freezes them, but they rarely pause to analyze why. Reflection changes that. It gives you insight into your emotional habits and creates a roadmap for improvement. Here's a practical method. At the end of each day, spend 10 minutes journaling. Ask yourself questions like, what situations triggered strong emotions today? How did I react? Did I control my emotions, or did they control me? What can I do differently next time? Writing down your thoughts clarifies patterns and trains your mind to respond consciously in the future. Reflection also helps you celebrate progress. Even small improvements, pausing before reacting, naming an emotion, or shifting your focus, are victories. Recognizing these moments builds confidence and motivates you to continue practicing emotional control. Remember, controlling emotions is a skill, not a one-time achievement. The more you reflect, the better you understand your emotional landscape. You begin to see triggers before they overwhelm you, recognize patterns, and choose strategies that work. Reflection turns mistakes into lessons, stress into awareness, and emotional chaos into growth. Finally, make reflection a habit. It can be daily or weekly, but consistency matters. Just a few minutes of thoughtful reflection each day creates a lifetime of emotional awareness and control. By practicing reflection, you complete the circle. From pausing, naming, and shifting focus to actively shaping your emotional life. Control of your emotions is not about never feeling anger, fear, or sadness. It's about understanding them, learning from them, and responding wisely. Step 10 ensures that each day you grow stronger, calmer, and more in command of your emotional world. Final words. Congratulations, my friend. You've just learned the 10 powerful steps to control your emotions. Remember, emotions are natural, but how you respond is your choice. Pause, breathe, name your feelings, shift focus, practice gratitude, and surround yourself with positivity. These steps will help you take control and live a calmer, stronger, and happier life. If you want to continue growing and mastering your mind, stay with me on Impressive Learning English. Together, we'll not only improve your English, but also your confidence, mindset, and life. Your journey to emotional mastery starts today.